G'day web surfers, I'm Kabbaway. So back in New Year's Eve, I mentioned how I was really relieved that we were getting some rain and that I hoped this year's summer would be cooler and wetter than the last so that we wouldn't have to worry about bushfires. Well, my wish was granted. A little too well. Since last December, the rain has barely let up here on the east coast of Australia, causing major flooding to several areas as a result. Beyond the mild inconvenience of boggy paddocks, extra mozzies and bailing out pre-dug holes, we've luckily been spared from any major safety hazards and property damage in our corner of the world. But many others weren't so fortunate, with thousands being forced to evacuate their homes. My heart goes out to all who were affected and hope that you are able to rebuild in whatever manner best suits your needs. I highly encourage everyone watching to make a donation to the New South Wales and or Queensland State Emergency Service. They're almost entirely run by volunteers who are trained and equipped to take on a variety of challenges, including flooding. The volunteers in both states have been working relentlessly to help stranded people make their way to safety, and are only able to do this incredible job through the help of donations. Any sort of help would be deeply appreciated. If you've been following my channel since the beginning, you may have noticed that in 2018 I made a video documenting the insane dust storm which swept over New South Wales that November due to a prolonged drought. And then just over a year later we had the horrific bushfires, which destroyed millions of hectares of nature, killed millions of animals as well as around 30 humans. Now, the cost of these floods are estimated to be more than $385 million and rising. And at least 2 people are believed to have passed away in the floods, as well as leaving many of our waterways and surrounding low-lying areas significantly damaged. All 3 of these natural disasters I've referenced on my channel show but a fraction of the climate challenges we are facing right now. Sure, Australia's always been known for its extreme weather conditions and natural disasters, but what's been happening for the last few years is anything but natural. The overall trend is that our climate is getting hotter and drier, which causes water shortages, further strain on our wildlife, many of which are already endangered and exclusive to this country, as well as the deaths of many trees and plants keeping our soil compacted. Then in the event of a strong wind or rare continuous downpour, our barely recovering landscape is devastated and our soil heavily eroded. At least in the event of a bushfire, the ash refertilizes the soil and helps many trees and plants to germinate their seeds, thanks to the extensive and careful use of fire by the indigenous peoples for thousands of years. But we can't keep dealing with the likes of the Black Summer, which experts are predicting is going to be a regular occurrence going into the future. We can't keep getting a decade's worth of rain in the span of a few months and then never see rain for another year. We can't keep losing our topsoil and having our precious waterways tainted by contaminants brought by wind or water. We can't keep ignoring what nature is telling us. We must work together to find ways to combat these issues and live more sustainable practices so that we don't pass these worsening burdens onto future generations. We can never tame nature, but we can cooperate with it for the benefit of all life on Earth.